Morning peeps, I'm back, and you might wonder why I'm wearing this shirt. And the only reason is I'm doing my weekly washing and I've basically got nothing else to wear. I wouldn't be seen dead in this out in the street, but talking to you lot is perfect. So, amazing day in the history of FPL, isn't it? This chip is like nothing we've seen before. It's hit the ground running on a double game week. That's probably helped a lot of people because a lot of people would have used it straight away regardless. But luckily, they've had two double game weeks to use it on. So that's really helped all the people that would have been impatient and used it straight off the bat. We've also got like a million managers using their triple captain chip, and I was one of them. I came on yesterday, talked about the dangers of being over elaborate with your chips, decided I'd just stick with my plans and play my triple captain chip, and it's worked to perfection, peeps. You know what I mean? It's worked to perfection for everybody, hasn't it? Whether you used your assistant manager chip or whether you used your triple captain chip. So far, everyone's pretty happy, aren't they? Another couple of goals from Salah, though, will, I think, have people wishing they had in fact used their triple captain and kept their assistant manager in reserve. Because don't forget, those of us that did use a triple captain, we've still got our fun to come, haven't we, with that chip? And mine might start as soon as next week because I'm thinking of activating it in game week 25, either on Villa or Arsenal if they've got a double, or maybe even slot for the week, for the Wolves and Villa game, if that turns out to be the double game week fixture. Anyway, peeps, we're going to have a look at what people have been doing, have a look at how the different strategies have played out, and which camp has done the best. And I think we'll find everybody's pretty happy. So let's have a quick look. Where are we? So first off, I got Pickford. I got rid of two Brighton pricks this week, and thank God I did. I got rid of Verbruggen, who let in 7 goals, and I got rid of that slippery little prick, Pedro, what's his face, because he only lasted 45 minutes, so I was glad to get rid of him. He's been annoying me for weeks. And the people in the chat who told me I was an idiot for buying Ndai, or whatever he's called, and it was a complete waste of time. Well, he got 7 points, and he's still got another fixture to go. So as long as he doesn't get booked, at least I got 9 out of him, which, to be honest, I'd be happy with. You know what I mean? Even if I never play him again. So Pickford an assist. Hard to believe, but he did. He doesn't seem to have got any bonus points though, does he? 3 for his assist and 6 points for his clean sheet. And I thought he'd have got lots of that, but uncharacteristically, Everton decide to score 4 goals. Just when everybody's using their blooming assistant manager on him, and you get extra points for goals, and I think you get extra points for clean sheets. So Everton people pretty happy with their assistant manager chip. Right, Trent came off, may not be back for the Tottenham game at least, so maybe Tottenham will beat them. You never know, do you? You never know, peeps. But Salah, the main one, 48 points. He gets a brace next week against Everton. I'd put him on 96 points if you've used a triple captain chip, of which I believe 32 would be actual points, which would dwarf anything people will probably get from their assistant manager chip. So it does show, I think, this is when you play your triple captain in a double game week, because you've got to be in to win. And if you're playing it on a single week, I know a lot of people got points from Haaland, but there's much more chance of getting a complete blank just playing it in a single week. Semenyo was unlucky, hit the post, I think, very lively, especially in the first half, could have had points. And so could his little mate Clivert, couldn't he? Missed an open goal pretty much. Gakpo, very fortunate there, really, you have to say. I mean, it was a penalty, but it was nothing Gakpo really did to deserve getting any points. It's more the idiot that pushed him. Very soft penalty, really, wasn't it? So that's about that. Now we'll have a quick look at this league because it's very interesting because there's a very even split. Now I think there's 10 managers here. Now 3 of us used our triple captainship. Not everybody had it available, of course, but 3 of us did use it, and 1 finished bottom so far this week with only 64 points, and the other one who used it finished top with 93, and I was in the middle with 79. So you can see that whether you played the triple captainship or not was not kind of instrumental to your success, because we see in second place Joe used his on Moyes, and in third place Mark used his on Slot. So the first 3 in this league this week so far all played a different chip. So you can see it's like neck and neck, isn't it? There's nothing in it really. I'd say triple captainers have a slight advantage, especially as they can still use their assistant manager chip, which probably has more certainty of returns than the triple captainship does. So people who haven't used their triple captainship, they could quite easily get a blank when they use it, whereas those of us that have still got our assistant manager chip would be very unlucky, I think, to pick a match where we blanked. But that's the main danger of that chip, isn't it? The main danger is you play it and are a victim of a major upset, like playing at Arsenal home to Ipswich and Ipswich win or something like that. I mean, there's always that possibility you can get unlucky with that chip, but people have got a good start with it. Like I said, a lot of people didn't have much choice because they didn't have the triple captainship anyway. Like Joe didn't have a triple captainship. Andy didn't have a triple captainship. And Black Box didn't either. So they really didn't have much choice in the matter. So it's a bit of a shame this new chip exists, actually. Otherwise, those of us that used our triple captain would be romping ahead, wouldn't we? Romping ahead, peeps. And those that had used it earlier in the season would kind of be regretting it a little bit, I think. But we've seen a whole load of different strategies here. Look at all these transfers people have made. Harry made 4, bringing in Pickford. Nearly everybody bought in Pickford. Nearly everybody. We'll see how many have got Pickford, shall we? Let's have a look. Choose player, Pickford. Where are you, Pickford? Hiding. Hiding in plain sight. Probably right at the top, and I've gone straight past you. So, no, these 2 at the bottom, Wag and Fabio, do not have Pickford. I'll tell you something weird about Fabio. He's still got 5 transfers left. 5. And he hasn't got a single Everton player. Obviously there's another double game week next week. So he's, he's in love with holding his transfers. But to me, going in without any Everton players, like I said, double game weeks, you've got to be in to win. And Pickford, even the striker, have got points. He's got to wait a whole 9 days after the Chelsea match before this game week's concluded with the final fixture. And he has to sit there with no Everton players. So like you're kind of locking in a red arrow, aren't you, there? So I can't play like that. Double game weeks, you've got to go for it. That's where the fun of FPL is in the double game weeks, isn't it? And to have 5-3 transfers and not get yourself involved in it, to me, it seems a bit strange. But everyone else virtually has got Pickford, apart from Wag and Fabio. And they nearly all bought him in this week. Look, nearly everybody bought in Pickford. Myself and Joe, we got Verbruggen out just in the nick of time, to be honest. I nearly took Flecken out instead, but Flecken's not too bad, is he really? Chris Wood, only 3 people in this league have got Chris Wood. And of course, there are 3 people with the highest scores this week. So really, it's not been the chips that have decided your rank this week. It's whether or not you own Chris Wood. That is what has made the massive difference, because all three chips so far are pretty equal, aren't they? Pretty equal. Like I said, I do slightly favour the triple captain, because for one thing, it took less effort. I mean, you see a lot of people took out Liverpool players this week so they could play the chip. I don't know where they are. Who did? Let's have a look. Let's see who took out Liverpool players. Well, Mark did. He took out Diaz, which, to be fair, didn't harm him, did it? Because Diaz did nothing as usual, but he does still have one fixture left. But in order to use the chip, Mark had to use a transfer and take out a Liverpool player, and he could have just used the triple captainship and probably would have been better off actually if he had done that, because it's, you know, like I said, it's Wood that ended up getting his points, not the fact that he used Slot as his assistant manager. So let's see who else. So Andy took out Virgil van Dijk, but he did at least bring in Mikalenko, who's performed equally as well, hasn't he? It remains to be seen if he does in the next fixture or not. But he didn't have his triple captainship anyway, so he's kind of had to use one of the managers for his chip, and he chose Slot. He could have just chosen the Everton one, I guess. But at least Liverpool do have an extra fixture next week, don't they? Probably, but not for certain. So his mate Bakar did the same thing, but except he brought Konsa in. Dunk Konsa winks peeps, and look at Dunk, -3 today. He got an own goal and conceded 7 goals, and got -3. Because my mate I played golf with, he's got Dunk in his team, and he got -3 for him today. Absolutely shocking performance by Blooming Brighton. And but Konsa didn't do much better, did he? I see they lost 2-0, but of course, they do have a double game week next week, don't they? Including a game against Leicester. So that's probably a good transfer. But again, it's also he could use his attacking manager chip, assistant manager chip, rather than his triple captainship. Now this one's interesting in that Late Riser has taken a -8 this week. Took a -8. So he does have, at least he does have 2 Everton. And Moyes got 12. I thought Moyes would have got more than 12. Is that all he got? 12 points? I thought they got 10 for a win. And a point for each goal. And also points for clean sheet. So only 12 points. For Moyes. How many did Slot get then? Who used Slot? Only 10 points for Slot. There's not many, is it really? I mean, I know they've got another game, of course, haven't they? So you're getting 20 out of it. I mean, even if like they won 2-0 today and only got 10 points. So, you know, I mean, we're probably going to get them as well, aren't we? When we use it, you know, those of us that used our triple captain, hopefully are going to do equally as well. I guess the big points are using it with the table bonus, aren't they? You know, Moyes got 12. I mean, they probably, if they lose to Liverpool, they probably get next to nothing, don't they? So, you know, you really would have been better off using the triple captainship. And the other reason I didn't like the Moyes, using it on Moyes, like I said yesterday, was that you're forced to make a transfer straight away, aren't you, next week? Because you wouldn't want to use Moyes next week. So we got a double game week next week, and you're forced to use one of your transfers, changing from Moyes to another manager. And to me, that was a downside on using the chip on Everton. So, you know, I'm quite pleased I didn't. Seeing that he only got 12 points. Is that right? How much do they get for the win? I don't even know the rules, peeps. I'm terrible. What else happened here? As only took one transfer. He's just got Pickford. So having Ndoye to go is quite comforting in a way because not many people seem to have him. I'm surprised at that though, that they're so low total for that chip. I'm sure they got 10 points for just winning the game. Maybe they don't. Nothing else much to report here. Right, we're going to have a quick look at Reddit anyway, because there's quite a bit to talk about actually, and this gives me some ideas. So, 500,000 managers transferred Chris Wood out of their squad for this week. And I'll tell you what, Pips, a lot of people would have taken him out so that they could afford the money for this new chip. Either that or they just kind of wanted Gakpo because he scored a lot of points at the weekend. You know, fair enough. I mean, a lot of people have been saying that Forest fixtures are toughening up, you know, but obviously Brighton, you know, they've got one job, Pete, one job to play one game a week and get paid like $1 million for it. And they can't even do that. They can't even do their job properly for 90 minutes, can they? That's all they got to do. Concentrate and play football for 90 minutes, not give up because they're losing 3 or 4-0. When that's their only job. It's just it's a complete disgrace, Pete. I'm sick of these one-sided, heavy defeats at people. You know, there's no need for it. Why should they be? How should they even be allowed to draw their wages when they're doing that sort of thing? You know what I mean? 7 bloody goals. I woke up, saw that, and I just knew we'd be getting a lot of points. Drives you nuts, honestly, it does. You can't rely on anybody to get points, you know, just to play and play well. You know, that's all they have to do. They don't have to win. They just have to put in an effort. It's a disgrace, isn't it? It really is. You know, I could do with working in a bloody factory or something for a bit and experiencing some real life, you know, and then they might put in a bit more effort, you know, instead of mucking around, daydreaming for the second half and going and playing FIFA on their PlayStations or whatever they do. Right, peeps, I'm grumpy now. Let's have a look. It's this shirt. Got a new cat as well. Got a new cat yesterday. Now she's hiding under the bed. Won't come out, you know, terrified. You know, she's not going to like me ranting and raving, peeps, you know, so I've got to stay calm. Keep quiet. Now my washing's finished. Look, it's annoying, this thing, I tell you. It's going to do it again in a minute. I could either get up now and turn the washing machine off or put you through a lot of unnecessary noise because it drives me potty. And it's going to drive you potty now. I'll tell you what else drives me potty. Salah. Although he doesn't. This does. Look at all these points. So I've got Gibbs White in the format I don't mention, which is good, but I do not have him in FPL. He's one of those players I always want. Like I said, didn't I, a few weeks ago, I really like Gibbs White, but he's one I've never actually got. I mean, if I'd got him, instead of that little prick Sarr from Palace, I'd be romping home now, romping home. But no one really has him, do they? But he's good, you know. I know the fixtures are shit though, aren't they? Right, now look at this. Assistant manager, how it was used. So I told you, right, 500,000 on Slot, 400k on Moyes, and 47,000 went for the Bournemouth manager, peeps, and they got diddly squat. And the same with the 30,000 who went with Emery. Losing 2-0 at Wolves. And this is what can happen with this chip. I'll tell you what, I think I'm going to play it safe. I'm not going to be doing, I'm not going to go for table bonus because it's hard enough as it is, isn't it, trying to find a win. 20,000 have gone on Amarin. That's the Man United factor, isn't it? But basically, more went for Slot than went for Moyes. And my issue with Slot is that it means, you know, for 2 or even 4 games, say they've got a double next week, so that's 4 games where you can only have 2 Liverpool players. And I don't like that at all, you know, especially when it's only worth 10 points. and you think that somebody, you might take out Virgil van Dijk. I mean, he's already got 6 points or 5 points this week. I think he got booked, didn't he? But, there's huge potential there for him to get a penalty, to get a header from a corner or something, and to get more points than the assistant manager chips are worth almost. So I'm only having two Liverpool. I don't like that, I really don't. We saw that Liverpool only got 10 points for their chip. And you are taking a risk by not having three of their players. If that player is the one that goes off. So that's that, peeps. What's this here? Arnie Slot says that Trent has to come off. Wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play against Tottenham. So that's the last one. It only does it 3 times, It annoys me. It annoys my new cat. And it's annoyed you lot. But João Pedro off at half time. God, I got rid of him. Honestly. Look at this. A record 2.68 million people used a chip this week. And look at the split. 1 million is almost identical between the assistant manager chip and the triple captain. And we've already seen it's almost identical with which manager they used it on as well. So there's like a really even split on what people went with. I was hoping for lots of Salah points, but to Liverpool to actually lose or at least draw. Bournemouth let themselves down. It looked at one stage, didn't it, like Bournemouth were going to give them trouble. And they also wanted Leicester to beat Everton, but that was more of a bit more of a stretch. But having got 10 points for Pickford or whatever, and 9, I'm quite happy that they did actually win and keep a clean sheet. Some people used a free hit and others used a bench boost. They're kind of, well, I'm going to use a chip regardless. Everyone else is using a chip. I'm going to use one. So people saying they like the new chip. There's someone is here. Most people don't, do they? It's just it really is chaos, isn't it? It's good for that, I guess. Now, why did Watkins come off at half time? You lot know. I don't. I don't know, peeps. Why? Does anybody? Why did he come off? I suppose they did have a Champions League game, didn't they? But they sold their other striker. They got 75 million for him, didn't they? Oh, whoops, we don't want to go there, peeps. Right, so especially with this shirt, you know what I mean? So it's not why I'm wearing it. Let's have a look. I wouldn't get Wood back. I didn't get him last week, did I? So I'm certainly not going to get him now. I mean, away to Fulham, away to Newcastle, home to Arsenal, and home to City. You've made your bed, you lie in it with Chris Wood. And although the Brighton fixture, you thought he might get something, but conceding 7 goals, ridiculous. Right, Rodgers on 8 yellow. What? He's already on 8 yellows, Rodgers. I'm actually thinking of bringing him in this week. Because Villa do have a double game week. It's got to be Rodgers and Watkins have got to be very high on the agenda, don't they? Very high on the agenda. I mean, we've got weeks to talk about this before the next game week starts. But now my 2 transfers penciled in for next week, Rodgers and Watkins. Let's see, what else have we got here? Anyone playing with Newcastle? And speaking of that, I'm actually thinking of taking out Isaac to bring in Watkins for that double game week. Which could backfire, couldn't it? But look at the fixtures. The next 3-ship, I think they've got a blank in game week 29. So I'm very likely, I think, to take out Isaac for Watkins, even though Watkins only played 45 minutes this week. Beto was the one, wasn't he? I guess he was the replacement for Calvert-Lewin, but I didn't hear anyone anyone talk about him. You know, I certainly didn't think about him. I looked through the Everton team, trying to look for a differential, and I couldn't really see one. Like Decor and Garner and had done nothing all season. I didn't even really think of Beto. Right, so that's about it, peeps, I think. You know, basically, it's a bit of a draw, isn't it? Bit of a draw so far between the chips, and I'd quite like to see that. You know, I don't like to see one set of managers hugely benefit on what basically is a pretty random choice. I mean, none of us knows really whether it was best to triple captain, use it on Slot, or use it on Moyes. You know, and we still don't know, do we? I mean, Everton could beat Liverpool. If that's the case, then the people that took out Liverpool players to use it on Slot, that would be pretty much a failure, wouldn't it? Just for 10 points against Bournemouth. But you know, but if Pickford owners, if they do beat Liverpool, they've really done extremely well, haven't they? But a likelihood is that Liverpool will beat them, and hopefully Salah will get some more points. But it's all very interesting, peeps. I suppose while I'm here, I could have a very early look at next week. But the trouble is, of course, we can't, can we? We can't really, because we do not know who's playing. We don't know who's got the double game week, do we? See here, look, they've got a thing for Set Planet FPL's projected fixtures. So you can click on that and it gives you the fixtures that Planet FPL think are going to happen. So they think that it's going to be Liverpool and Villa with the double next week. But it could be Tottenham and Fulham. And it could even be Tottenham, Fulham, Arsenal and Chelsea, all with a double game week. You know, in which case I would probably be playing my triple captainship. Not my triple captainship, peeps. My, what's it called? I can never remember the name of these bloody things. My free hit chip. I'd be playing my free hit chip probably next week, if that was the case. But I think there's only like a 15% chance that that's going to happen. But you never know. You never know. I mean, if it is just Villa and Liverpool, I'll be activating my assistant manager chip. But like I said, we've got ages to think about it. I mean, this team looks pretty decent already next week. See, this is Isaac away at City. I think I will be doing Isaac to Watkins. I mean, look at that. Home to Ipswich and home to Liverpool. I mean, home to Liverpool's not great, but home to Ipswich. You know, I mean, you could almost captain him, couldn't you? Although Salah does have Wolves, so you're going to captain Salah. But really, I could just do that. Or I could get Rodgers as well. But I'm being put off a bit by Rodgers, but Ipswich at home. Like I said, you've got to be into winning these double game weeks. And Sarr is one player I'm extremely sick of. So I might well take him out. The problem is it would be for a hit, I think. Which is a bit of a problem. Is it worth getting Watkins in for a hit if we don't already own him? This is what I was talking about in my video the other day, wasn't it? About how you can go overboard on these chips and end up being worse off because you make so many compromises to do well in them. But I want to get rid of Sarr anyway. The other thing is, who do you bench? I guess Fernandez away at Tottenham. No, Ndoye. So, yeah, I could do that. Then I'd have 5 double game week players and I'd have my assistant manager chip active either on Liverpool or on Aston Villa. So anyway, peeps, I'm off now. You know, I've had enough. You've had enough. You've had enough looking at this shirt. You've had enough of listening to my washing machine beeping. And you've also had enough of my cat not coming out to say hello. Because he's very shy, very traumatised. You know, I don't think she used any chips this week. and she's hiding under the bed. Anyway, peeps, I'm off now. So take care, and I shall be back at some stage. I can't do one tomorrow, but at the end of the game week, I'll probably do one. Actually, I might wait. I'll wait until we get the League Cup matches, because there's going to be, they're very interesting, aren't they? It's going to be very exciting now, isn't it? Seeing if Tottenham can knock out Liverpool, or whether Arsenal can knock out Newcastle. You know, because if that happened, then we've got Chelsea and Arsenal in the mix for a double. So that would be pretty interesting, wouldn't it? Anyway, peeps, I'm off now. Talk to you all later. Like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you in a few days. Anyway, so cheers for now then, peeps.